Hi there and welcome back to my channel, Sweet as Sophie. And if you are new, then make sure to like and subscribe on that subscribe button. And today I'm gonna be doing a video, a book recommendation video about books that I recommend that you could read. And it varies from different ages, so if you are older or if you are younger. But yeah, and the room is kind of different today because I'm in my sister's room. Don't tell her. Yeah, but I'm in her room because her lighting was so much better than in my room. And it was really rainy at my side of the house, and it was blowing, and so it was really not a good sound effect at all. So that's why I'm in her room today. Don't tell her. So let's Okay, so the first book that I recommend that you read if you are like younger, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12, but this writer also writes books for teens. I don't know if these books are considered to be the books for teens, but it is the books about that the author Kim Celius has written. And the first book is called Back to Pompeii, but I am Swedish, so that's why it is. You can maybe not read it, I don't know. But Back to Pompeii, and her whole line of books are like historical, or this line of the books are historical, so there are a lot of history in it, and I really like history, so I know that I enjoyed reading this. I haven't read all because there are like 15 books in this series, and then she has a lot of other series where she has a lot of other books, so you should definitely check that writer out. She's really good, and that's what got me to fall in love with reading. Before I had only read like one couple of books, but never read like a series. So yeah, you should definitely check that writer out. And there are historical, like I said, like Back to Pompeii. And then I also have the Pharaoh, Curse, and Vikings. So yeah, and then the Forgotten Town or something, I don't know what it's called in English, but all these books is on Swedish, so yeah. But I actually saw that she has some on English too, so yeah. Definitely check that writer out, because these books I know are amazing, and if you're particularly interested in history, then I think that you should definitely read these books. That is a big recommendation. Then another book that I think that you should definitely read or watch the movie are Harry Potter, of course. These books are really awesome, and this is also Swedish, so yeah. But it was a long time ago I read these books, but I know that when I read them when I was younger, I don't think I read all of them, but at least 6 or something, and then I forgot to read the rest, but I watched the movie. But yeah, they're really awesome, and Harry Potter is really good. So yeah, it's great. It is Harry Potter. So you, if you haven't read the first one, then read it. It's really great. So yeah, read that one. And then another book that I got for my birthday present was Heroes of Olympus, The Lost Hero. And this is like a spin-off to the Percy Jackson's books. And I haven't actually read that one, and that books, or the Percy Jackson books, but I am going to do that. So I haven't actually read this book yet, but I will do it when I finish my latest book that I'm currently reading. And yeah, I think this book will be really great, because if you are like in love with what's it called, like mythological and the sea and so. And there are like a lot of goddess like Aphrodite and so. So I'm really excited to read this book. So I would definitely recommend that you pick this book up and read if you're interested in like myth. Yeah, but that you pick this book up, because I think this book is really great. And then there are like a lot of other books in that series. So yeah. And then another book that I read currently that are like a volume. And yeah, I forgot to say that I bought this book like 3 days ago, and it reminded me of the Heroes of the Olympus. It is like the same theme, and so yeah, this one is also my recommendation. I haven't read it yet, but I think that is like quite that it is like quite the same. If also like the same like myths and gods and so. So yeah, check those two out. So there are like book 1 to 3 are this book called Christy Miller, the Christy Miller collection. And it is by the author Robin Jones Gunn. And I think that this book was really great, actually. It was really great. So it is about Christy, who likes come from a small town and move to like a big city in like California, I think. But yeah, and she lived with her aunt that summer, and then she meets a group of friends, and she's like really insecure. I don't know, but yeah, it's really a great book. And then she like comes out of her shell and so. So I actually enjoy reading this. But then she meets Todd, who changes everything, and yeah. It's really great. It is kind of a little Christianity in it, but I actually enjoyed it either way. So yeah, it is a great book, and there are a lot of series, a lot of books in this series, and then there are like books after high school, and like the married years in college, and then there are like books about her friends at the side. So definitely check this offer out if you're interested. I recommend it. And then a book that I definitely recommend for like young adults, or the book that are now young adult books that I recommend, are The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I read this book the first time in English class, where we were supposed to read a novel because it wasn't our requirements for the grade or the class. So yeah, and then we had to discuss it after a couple of chapters and come up with questions and blah 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 and so. Yeah, but it was really a great book, and I really liked it. And it is a really sensitive and emotional, but also really great book. It is like inspiring, loving, and so if you haven't read this one yet by John Green, then make sure to read it. It's really great. And then another book that I currently finished reading the other day was Looking for Alaska. So if you haven't read Looking for Alaska, then I recommend that you read this book. It is really great. I love it. I love this book. But yeah, it's really great, and you should definitely read it. It is great. Yeah, it is really great. And then the book that I recommend the most that you should read, because it is so great and it is so emotional, so sensitive, but also at the same time very funny. I found myself laughing sometimes because it was really funny and the author really connected to the reader. And so you should definitely read this book. If you haven't, then make sure to read it. It's really great. And the book that I'm talking about is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. So if you haven't read this book, then make sure to pick up your own copy and start reading it, because it is really a life-saving book. I really loved it. I couldn't put it down, and I finished reading it in like 2.5 days, or maybe 3. Yeah, 3. And it was really great, and it is about this guy named Charlie, who is like an introvert and awkward, and he's starting his freshman year in high school. And then he meets Sam and Charlie, and everything changes. And it is a really great book. Because of this book, I could relate a lot to this book. So yeah, definitely pick it up. And he is wise beyond his years, and so I don't know. It is really great, and I just love it. And it deals with a lot of problems also, like depression and growing up, high school, to hard years, and yeah. And then he's really shy, introspective, and intelligent. Yeah, so definitely read this book. It is really great. I recommend this. And after that, I also recommend this. So yeah. But the book that I'm currently reading that I can recommend also is Paper Towns by John Green. Lately I have been into reading a lot of English books. Before I only read like Swedish books. But after I finished reading this one, I was really in love with reading only English books. So I started doing that. And then I read this one, and then I started with this one. So yeah, I'm not quite finished with it. I'm almost halfway soon. But I can already tell that it is a really great book. And I don't want to stop reading it. So I would recommend Paper Towns too by John Green. Yeah, and that was my recommendation for books. And if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to like and subscribe. And please comment down below which kind of books that you really enjoyed reading, so maybe I can get some tips in the future or something. But yeah, please make sure to subscribe, and I hope that you have an awesome day or an amazing day. Yeah, so please make sure to subscribe. Bye, see you next time.